Okay, so I wanted to talk about this Metroid Prime rumor that I saw. Supposedly, there's an interesting update going on. Now, there is a gaming enthusiast online that, for the most part, has been right about a lot of stuff that they've researched and looked upon and stuff. But supposedly, they found some clues suggesting that Metroid Prime 4 is close to being finished. Now, I heard a rumor not long ago that basically they just need to make some cutscenes and the game is done. I was asking a couple months ago, Nintendo, it's not like you never made a fucking game before. You know how to make cutscenes? What the hell's the big deal? So I know we've all been waiting for Metroid Prime 4. I'm not that big of a Metroid fan, but I know since I saw it get announced back in 2017, it's been like, what the hell's taking them so long? Like, why is Nintendo taking such a big deal and time to get this fucking game out, right? The last proper game in the Metroid Prime series that y'all had was Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I think that came out, what, '07? And then after that was like Metroid Other M, which I only played like an hour of that and never fucking picked it up again. Fans have been wanting Metroid Prime 4, and it seems like instead of that, now Nintendo is going the way of trying to just remaster all the other primes like as slow as they can until they get those all out because it's not coming over. And I think Bandai Namco was originally making Metroid Prime 4, and if you don't remember, Nintendo wasn't happy with the work that they did, so in 2019 they scrapped it all. We had 2 years of development, maybe even 3 if they were working on it before they originally announced it, scrapped it all, and they started over with the help of Kensuke Tanabe, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who worked on the original Metroid Prime games in Retro Studios, which they should have just had Retro Studios work on it from the beginning. They're the team that was responsible for the first 3 Metroid Prime games. And then after that, it's just been kind of like this weird limbo that we've had where every once in a while Nintendo says, yes, it's still in development. Update coming soon. We get nothing, right? Things are fucking quiet. A few little reports here or there. Every once in a while we'll see Retro Studios hiring people for certain positions that were like, oh my God, they're hiring to work on this game, blah, blah, blah. And then there's rumors that the game's coming out here or there. We've heard all sorts of speculation. Every Nintendo Direct, we're like, hey, where's the Metroid Prime shit? At this point, I would be impressed if they got it out before the Switch 2 came out. It's probably going to be a cross-generational title. Let's be honest. It'll probably be on both consoles, the Switch and then the Switch 2, which I like to call it the Super Nintendo Switch. Anyways, this enthusiast is a YouTuber named Super Metal Dave 64. Shout outs to them, by the way. They talk a lot about, they're a Nintendo YouTuber, right? They talk about a lot of Nintendo games. They recently made a video about Metroid Prime 4, so if you've seen it, I'm sure you did. It kind of trended. They found some interesting clues that suggest that the game might almost be done. First, there's this whole incident where around 10 months ago, Nintendo supposedly tested some early versions of Metroid Prime 4 to make sure that there weren't any problems. And this info, the reason why Super Metal Dave found it is that there was a resume from somebody named Edwin Atwell, who is a game tester, right? They updated their resume to say that they play tested an early version of Metroid Prime 4. So that's interesting right there in its own right. Digging up resumes and stuff, that's hardcore. Super Metal Dave must really want Metroid Prime 4 to come out. And then they also say that Retro Studios was hiring more people with different kinds of experience to help with this game between 2021 and 2022. I've seen this in the past where people make these videos talking about studios like Rockstar and Retro Studios and Platinum Games and all them. They're constantly hiring people. I don't know if that's because they need more hands on deck or if they just have like a revolving door of people all the time. But interesting enough, when you see a smaller studio, I guess like Retro, I say smaller studio, think in retrospect, pun intended, Retro Studio is still kind of like a smaller studio. I think they're in Texas, to be honest. I think they might be in Austin. I should just try to go and have like a Retro Studios badge and knock on the door and act like I know what I'm doing there and walk in and find a computer and see if I can take some screenshots, right? I'm just joking. Retro Studios, don't come after me. So, yeah, on top of that, there's this other thing where Retro Studios joined forces with Next Gen Dreams 3D. It's a studio that's really good at making trailers for video games. So the speculation here is that if they're teaming up with a studio that makes trailers, that a trailer is being worked on as we speak, which is a sign that it's being close to finished. They work with many developers. They made a trailer for a game called Judas. We're not talking about the Chris Jericho song. Judas in my mind, right? So Retro Studios' name used to be on their website, on Next Gen Dreams 3D's website as a partner, but then they took it down. So what does that mean? Was it leaked accidentally by them on their website? I don't know. So yeah, these are all just speculative details, though, that if you watch Super Metal Days video, which I wanted to kind of talk about that, because I made a video about Metroid Prime 4 not too long ago asking what the hell is taking so long. So these little examples that were pointed out in his video that I'm talking about don't necessarily guarantee that we're going to be seeing a Metroid Prime 4 soon, but it's showing that progress is happening, albeit it's quiet, albeit Nintendo hasn't really come out and said anything, but it's probably getting close to being finished, right? People that make trailers, play testers, it's signs pointing to yes, right? It's been in the works for fucking over 5 years. And, I heard that rumor not too long ago that we talked about where people are saying the only thing that needs to be done with it is cutscenes. I'm like, what the fuck is taking Nintendo so long? Like, no offense if you're a Metroid fan. It's just a fucking Metroid game, dude. It's not like you're making the next Elder Scrolls or the next huge fucking humongous fucking open world game that has all sorts of like crazy assets and stuff. It's a Metroid Prime game. Like, you've made 3 of them in the past, Nintendo. Why? It's almost like they're scared to put it out, right? It's almost like Nintendo's terrified that they saw it, they got rid of it, and they're just taking their sweet time, hoping that eventually they could just quietly cancel it, which I know that would piss a lot of people off. It's almost like they're terrified for it. Now, we did get Metroid Dread in 2021. God damn, that's already come out fucking 3 years ago almost. I think that came out at the tail end of 2021, right? 3 years just about. I think this next fall will be 3. Metroid Dread came out to tide people over. I personally liked Metroid Dread. It reminded me a lot of Super Metroid and some of the older games. I like that. Metroid Prime, I really only played the first game and then just a little bit of the second one. It was all right. I didn't really like the 3D aspect, to be completely honest. To me, Metroid side-scrolling 2D. And then, of course, we got Metroid Prime Remastered last year sent our way. And then now rumors are coming that they're going to be remastering the second Metroid Prime. So maybe they're just going to slowly but surely drip feed the rest of the Metroid Prime games until this new one comes out. Who knows how far along they are for Metroid Prime 4. But Super Metal Dave 64 has a track record of being right some of the times with his little detective skills. I don't know. I think in a perfect world, we don't have much longer to wait. But what do you guys think, to be completely honest, with Metroid Prime 4? Are we getting it anytime soon? I think we're not getting it until the Switch 2 comes out, if I'm going to be completely honest.